Hello everyone, I'm sitting in a different spot than my last couple of videos, and I thought about closing these closet doors, but this is the reality of my situation, and I do like to try to keep it not perfect, because so much online is heavily edited and not reflective of everyday life. So things are not fully organized back there. Just a couple of things that I got at the thrift store. And this is my favorite thrift shop in town. It's uh, it's located in a small historic home. I don't know how old the home is, but I think it dates back to at least the early 1900s. Small historic home, so it's a compact thrift shop, and it's run by a local church that does a lot of good in the community, and most affordable prices out of any thrift shop I've been to in recent memory, or at least the last several years. This is the Game of Things here in a box. I did open it. I'm going to try not to spill it here before I purchased it. And it's got 107 topic cards and a response pad, which I do see. I didn't count out the cards, but I do see those things in there. It says the true object of the game is laughter, but if you're concerned about winning, here's how you play. Pick a topic, have everyone write a response, and take turns trying to guess who said what. For 4 or more players, ages 14 to adult. So, I don't have 3 friends that I can just call up. This is the reality here, and play this with. So I thought this was a bit silly for me to purchase this. But when I was in Fargo, I made friends with several people who liked playing board games, party games, things of this nature. And it's so fun. And it does say 4 more people, and that would be ideal. But let me just read off some of the prompts. Sometimes, as adults, we just get caught up with asking, how's life, how's the job, how's the family? But sometimes we just need more playfulness. I actually read an article about this, about more playfulness needed in adult friendships. Because we try to program things too much. Like, oh yeah, we're really busy, so let's try to make something super structured when we hang out with our friends. And we fall into the trap of asking about the same, regular adult things. But sometimes just ask silly stuff like, what are things seagulls are actually saying when they squawk at each other? Or things that would make a funny security password. Don't necessarily need 4 people to ask those questions of each other. And it was just $1.50. I don't remember if I said that. This one's Red Flags, the Game of Terrible Dates. So this one is a mature game for 3 or more players. Red Flags is a party game about convincing your friends to go on terrible dates. It works like this. One player is the single person, and everyone else is going to use perk cards to make them a hot date. But here's the twist. Everyone gets to play a red flag card onto another player in order to sabotage the competition. So the example they give is, here are 2 perk cards. Owns an island in the Bahamas and loves to cuddle, but then someone else has placed a sabotage card, which is constantly plotting to kill you. And it says, now all the dates are awful, because they all have this terrible caveat. Each player argues why the single should choose his or her date, and the single has to pick which of these horrible characters they would most want to go out with. One day I might have people in Illinois to play this with, but anyway, $1.50 each goes to a good cause. Got this shirt, and it's kind of funny when I went to check out. So it is. I think I said it at the beginning of the video. It's run by a local church. This is the second time I filmed it, because the first time I thought I was talking too much, and the second time, which is now, I'm still talking a lot. How it goes when I film. I've said this in so many other videos, but I film these not to be internet known or anything like that, which is, actually, I kind of don't want to be very well known, but because I like to have these videos on, sometimes in a quiet moment, when I'm doing chores or something like that, it's good to just have that. It's not human interaction in the traditional sense, but it gives me comfort and peace and enjoyment to listen to other people talk about things that they're passionate about, that I'm interested in. Sometimes those don't even coincide. Sometimes I just listen to things that people are passionate about that I'm not even interested in, but they make it sound interesting, which I'm not saying that I'm particularly interesting, but on the off chance that somebody finds listening to these videos, watching these videos, comforting and enjoyable, I like to make them because, like I said, I like to watch these types of videos. So anyway, it's run by a church, so it's a lot of older church ladies volunteering, and this shirt, which says "Nothing changes if nothing changes." I'll talk about that phrase in a second. It's an extra small, which is my size. But when she was pricing things, because this doesn't have a tag on it, there's some preset prices for stuff. She said, "Oh, Chad's clothing." And I said, "It is an adult shirt." But she and I looked at each other and I was like, "Is this a child shirt?" I mean, it says extra small. I don't think extra small and child size would necessarily be this size, but actually I can shop in the juniors section, which is generally like teenager-sized clothes because I stopped growing in middle school. And anyway, I did try this when I got home because I was like, no, this definitely fits. This is an adult shirt, right? It looks quite small, I will agree. It does fit, and not only does it fit, it's not tight either. It's the perfect size. It's just slightly loose, kind of like what I'm wearing right now, but it's not baggy. So this was $1, and it's 100% cotton, which I've talked in previous videos about. I'm trying to avoid purchasing things that have polyester in them for environmental reasons and just quality reasons. I almost didn't get the shirt because even though I like it, it feels very soft. I love a good graphic tee. It has a nice inspirational quote, but it's one of those kind of inspirational quotes where if you think about it too hard, it sounds very silly. Like, obviously, if nothing changes, nothing changes. But I like the thought behind it, that you have to, in order to have your life turn out in a new way, you have to make some changes. You got to do some things differently to set down a new path. That's the meaning behind it, and it's compressed down into this really catchy phrase that sounds very silly. But I think this shirt was one of my favorite items, honestly, because I just love a good shirt. I even thought to myself when I was getting it, I was like, when I was looking through the shirts, I was like, do I even need shirts? I own a lot of graphic tees. Does this even count as a graphic tee? It has a saying on it. Does that yes, it's a graphic, but it's not like splashy. I should really refilm this because this is getting silly, but all of these videos are silly, honestly. Anyway, I got 2 picture frames. Picture frames are something that I've been wanting to thrift for several months now because I realized I own lots of art prints. In fact, I've purchased several art prints since moving to Illinois because I go to local markets, and the local farmers market here has lots of artists. Well, at least a couple of artists every week and things like that. So I find that I have more art prints than I ever have owned before, which is great because I love art and I want to decorate, and this is the largest apartment I've ever lived in. However, I don't have frames. Long story short. This looks like it's a 4x6, which I don't actually need anything. Actually, let me get a ruler out. No, I have a ruler. I'm sitting at my desk right now, which I finally built. Oh, this is a 5x7. Now the opening is like 4.5. The opening is actually 4.5 by 6.5. But this is a 5x7. Anyway, not that anyone really cared. But it was $1, and it's a nice wooden frame. I have nothing to put in it right now, but you can't get a wooden frame like this for $1 anywhere. So I thought I would get it for future. And then I actually went back and forth on this frame. It's an 8x10, which is exactly the size I need. The thing I don't like about it, though, is that the hanging hardware protrudes from the back. So it's got a wire to hang from. But it won't sit flush against the wall because that hook that the wire is hanging from is... Actually, let me get the ruler out. I'm supposed to guess, but yeah, it is 2 centimeters. It's gonna lean on the wall like this. It's gonna tilt forward instead of hanging flush. But it's a nice wooden frame, and it's black, which I saw some nice frames that were affordable, but nice in the sense of like higher quality than Walmart, but not nice in the sense of not my style. So I thought, man, I don't want a frame that leans like that against the wall, but when am I going to get a nice wooden frame for $1? I spent $4 on a plasticky frame from Walmart. It might actually be aluminum. I don't even remember, but thought might as well pick it up while I'm there. And I can get really nitpicky about details, which, I mean, everyone has their preferences. Like, details, things like that, while they don't necessarily matter in the long run, it's my space that I live in, so if I don't like a picture to not be flush against the wall, that's perfectly, within my rights, it's understandable that I would have a preference like that, even if it's not particularly important. But the quality of it sold me. It was only $1, and what I find very interesting is it used to have some kind of hand lettering art inside. Now it's gone, but there's a sticker on the back that says hand lettering, appreciations, resolutions, memorials, diplomas, and awards designed. Zaner, Zaner Bloser, Bloser, Co., Columbus, Ohio. That's the tag. And I'm from Central Ohio, so that made it extra cool. I do not intend... I thought this was going to be an under 10-minute video, because I only bought 7 things, but cattiness. And there are 2 more things. This I got as a gift. Now it can be used for a lot of different things. Now I might end up keeping it, depending on if I can find a use for it. But it caught my eye, because it says Ulta Beauty, and I have a friend that is really into makeup. I don't know how to qualify really, but I myself, I don't wear makeup because I'm lazy. Honestly, that's literally the reason. It's not for anything more philosophical or preference-wise or anything. It's literally just because it takes too much time. I never got the skill of learning how to apply makeup because I am impatient and I don't want to spend the time doing that. But my friend, on the other hand, has all sorts of different colors. She has favorite cosmetic brands, colors of lipsticks and different brands of lipsticks and eyeshadow palettes and all that. So I thought maybe she could organize some of her stuff with this. It's an open bag, so it looks like it's meant to hold tools, maybe. It's got all these pockets. Like maybe you could put a hairdryer and a straightener in here. I wonder, this doesn't necessarily look like something they sold. I wonder if this was like a free gift if you spent a bunch of money or something like that. Because honestly, I've seen her spend well over $100 in Ulta before. I just go in there and I look and I'm like, it's like being at a museum or something. It's not the best example I can give, but it's like, oh, what are all these things that I don't know about? Or like going to a zoo. That's kind of bad as well. Not a great example. But I don't go in there and buy anything. I just go in there with her when I'm, if we're together and we're shopping or something. Why am I going into all these little stories that don't really have a point? I don't know. I'm gonna be able to use this for craft supplies. So depending on if I can find a use for it, I might just keep it. But I thought $1 for an organizer like this, it looks very nice. Regardless of the Ulta name being associated with it. It's got this nice little carrying handle and all of that. I thought for $1 that was very affordably priced. And this, I went back and forth on getting it, but I was like, it's quirky, and I love quirky stuff. I don't know what I would put in it, but it's this Umbra hanging planter organizer, and it was $1. And it's got this fun little hook right here you can hang things from. I don't know why it's also got one in the back, but it's got this hole for you to like hang from a nail, and you can put a plant in here or whatever you want. Honestly, it looks kind of like I try to be a creative person. I describe myself as a creative person because I like to do collage, scrapbooking, mixed media, art. I like to write, mostly just journaling at this point, but I have in the past written short stories and poetry. I like to dress creatively sometimes. All I can think of is like, oh, I put pencils in here, but it's just fun. It's just like a neat little shaped thing, and I'll hang this in my office, I think, because another thought I had was I could hang it by the door, and I could put things in here like my keys or something, because my door is, I don't have an entryway. It opens, my front door opens immediately into the kitchen, and I don't have a hall closet either. So there's very limited space, and I can't really put anything near the entryway. Unlike my previous apartment where my front door opened into like this little open space, and then a couple feet into the apartment was the kitchen and the living room. Got no space for a little table or anything like that because literally you open the door and there is the kitchen. It's very narrow opening, but there is some space to maybe hang something like this on the wall. I do need to get like a coat rack or something at some point because I don't have a coat closet, and right now I'm just hanging my coats in my bedroom closet, which is a little annoying because I have to go up the stairs to hang my coat up. First world problems and whatnot, but I love Umbra stuff because it's just so like it's they design their things to be different. It's like, yeah, it's just a little doohickey to put stuff in, but it's just well designed. Man, this video is way too long for showing 7 items, but I'm just gonna put it online like this. This is how it goes. I'm not here to get like 1,000 views or anything like that. I don't want to refilm this because I've been talking for almost 20 minutes and I want to do it again. I'm gonna be completely honest there, but they could have just made this like shaped like a cylinder, but it's actually tapered towards the bottom, and then it's got the little hanging thing in here, which is metal. So I don't own a lot of Umbra stuff. The Umbra stuff I do own is like really nice. In fact, my trash can is actually an Umbra trash can. But yeah, I guess we're gonna do show and tell, more show and tell. It's a wood trash can, which is so unnecessary, but I thought it was cool because it matches my desk. Now it's a very expensive trash can because it's wood. It was like $26, which is unnecessary, but I like to have certain luxuries like that, like a wood trash can. I never once regretted that purchase because it's cool. I know it's a trash can, but I like it. Alright, I think I'm gonna stop yapping now. One of my favorite things, like I said, was the t-shirt. I only bought 7 things, so anyway, just felt like chatting, I guess, as per usual. So, thank you for putting up with me, for watching, and I will see you whenever I next have something to show and tell. Have a good one.